Another edition of Todd's Odds with Todd Fuhrman, brought to you by FanDuel, our sports betting expert. Todd, lots of changing at the guard at the quarterback position the last couple of weeks in the National Football League. What do you got? You got the Vikings, Titans, Cardinals, Falcons, Giants, Raiders. All of them new faces under center. If you think you could trust one of them to cover this week, one of those quarterbacks, who would it be, Todd?
I mean, Jay, calling it a changing of the guard might be the most diplomatic, political way to describe bottom-tier quarterback play like we've been exposed to in recent weeks in the NFL. May help explain why scoring is down quite a bit year over year. But I'm going to go to a familiar name in an unfamiliar place. And Taylor Heinicke getting the start for the Atlanta Falcons for the second straight week. They're a short road favorite in the desert against the Arizona Cardinals, who all signs point to getting Kyler Murray back in the fold. Heinicke said this is Atlanta's Super Bowl going into the bye. It's a team that led a glorious opportunity against another new face in an unfamiliar place in Josh Dobbs last week. Slipped through their fingers. I think getting Drake London back in the offense will help immensely. Kyler Murray hasn't been able to move around a ton on that knee. And I always have questions about players in their first game back from injury. Give me the Falcons as a road favorite to get a big win in that sea of red.
Todd, you mentioned scoring's down, but I'll say this. There is one NFL team that scored at least 20 points a game in every game this season. And as you probably guessed, it's the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, wait, you didn't guess that? Well, neither did I. But they are a season best 6-3 going over the total. Can we bank on another over hitting this week, Todd? It's the Patriots in Germany.
I mean, what's more patriotic than watching the New England Patriots in Germany at 9:30 a.m. Eastern for a little bit of breakfast football? But no, Jay, I will not advocate for going over the total with the Indianapolis Colts. I know they've been an over machine this year, but you look at how they got to 27 last week against the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't one, but two pick sixes from the same player in Kenny Moore. I have some real concerns about this Indianapolis offense and what they can do as far as scoring potential with Gardner Minshew. Josh Downs dealing with a bit of a knee injury. And this may be the get-right game for a New England Patriots team who comes into this contest 5 games under 500. Jay, it has been 352 games since Bill Belichick and company have been 5 games under 500. You have to go back to his first year as head coach of this franchise. I think New England finds a way to stymie Indy and get a big win as a short underdog.
And Todd, our old colleague Colin Cowherd making noise about problems with Mac Jones, with teammates and this and that. So, I mean, Colin's got to be right. He never says anything incorrect. Todd, taking a look at Offensive Player of the Year. So you got Tyreek Hill leading Christian McCaffrey in the odds. But when you look at the MVP odds, CMC actually has better odds than Tyreek. Can you explain this to us, Todd, or does one have more value to win Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, I'm not sure one has more value than the other, but these markets are a little bit unique because the MVP feels like the best quarterback, the way the league has trended, while the Offensive Player of the Year has typically gone to the best skill position player. But there's a realistic possibility if Tyreek or CMC break some of these records that they can insert themselves into that MVP discussion, and then you'd be hard-pressed to see the same player win both awards. So it almost feels like Offensive Player of the Year is the most valuable fantasy member, very similar to what the Norris Trophy has become in the NHL, Jay, because apparently all we need from D-men are to go out there and score points. It doesn't matter if you defend. It doesn't matter if you're minus 50 in the plus-minus. If you get 100 points on the board, you're getting the hardware for the best defenseman, which I still haven't quite been able to figure out, but I defer to much smarter Canadians to let me wrap my head around that one.
No, Todd, I think you've got a lot of Canadians who would support you in that thought, and that's why many of us are advocating for 2 separate NHL Defenseman Award, one for the offensive defenseman, which would be the Norris, and, of course, the defensive one would be the Rod Langway Trophy. Rod Langway. Okay, Todd, 9 weeks in the NFL books. We're in Week 10. Started off with a bang, Panthers-Bears. Surely Todd Fuhrman has a Super Bowl pick for us in his beautiful hoodie. Todd, can you confirm Super Bowl pick?
It's not the Bears. It's not the Panthers. It's not the New York Giants. It's not the New York Jets. It's not the Las Vegas Raiders. It's not the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you know what? That's what we'll do, Jay. We'll turn this game, instead of me picking out the eventual Super Bowl champion, we'll go through process of elimination each week, and eventually we'll get to that team. because it leaves the audience wanting more every single installment of Todd's Odds.
And this is the thing. That's why Todd's so good at TV. He understands the concept of the tease. So we're changing it as of next week. We're eliminating teams. So stay tuned for that edition of Todd's Odds. Until then, Todd, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.